I've made tons and tons of mistakes since I've started my business. It's part of building a business. It's part of the journey. Everyone that runs a business will make mistakes. And in this video, I want to talk to you guys about my top 3 biggest mistakes that I've made in my business journey, and hopefully helps you guys. Number 1, unnecessary expenses. So in my business, when we started making money, revenue started increasing, we started getting more clients, things were looking good. Naturally, in the business, you're going to have to start buying more things, right? More products. You're going to want to invest more into getting more clients, different softwares you're going to use, all this different stuff. This is all called overhead. And overhead is basically all the expenses in your business that you have, that you need really in order to run your business. And one of the biggest mistakes in my business was that I started spending money on unnecessary things that I thought I needed in my business, but really didn't. For example, and this is stuff that you learn over time, but this is one of the biggest kind of things that we didn't need at all. It was nice to have, but it wasn't necessary, and it was really just cutting into our profit, and that was having an office. The company was growing, we were really growing, and we thought we needed a space for our business, so we rented out this pretty good sized office. Did you know that 70% of consumers, before they buy any product or service, they will visit a business's website? That's why you want to increase the conversion rate of every single person that is going to your website into sales. You don't want people to just go to your website to read some information and then get off. You want to make sure that your website is actually a lead generator, or that it's actually converting those people into bookings for your business. And that's what you can do with Yobo. Yobo transforms any website into a powerful sales and lead generating machine. And you do this with a multi-step form that you can embed right into your website. Forget the contact forms, forget the non-customizable booking options that you have on the market today. Use Yobo and start increasing the sales and leads for your business today. I'll put the link in the description. And what happened was that we used this office, maybe a couple times a week. I really didn't go there that much. It wasn't really a necessity to me. We stored our stuff there. We had all of our products there and everything. We had nice computers. We have all those nice desks. We had a couch. We had all this nice stuff. You guys can actually see it because it's in the videos that I've made in the past. I made a lot of videos in there. Because it looked nice. But there's a difference between something looking nice and it just costing you money and having no profit whatsoever or return on your investment for you whatsoever. And that's the case with the office. What I realized, I'm just spending a bunch of money on this on a monthly basis. I don't need this office. I could do all this work from home. I can shoot my videos from home. I can store all this stuff that we have, all the equipment, all of our products and everything that we have, the microfiber towels, the materials that we use, all of that can be stored in a different location that's much smaller, like a storage unit, which is what we do today. I don't need to have a 2,000 square foot office in order to store those things. So that was a very big unnecessary expense that we didn't need to have. And we were there for like a whole year and it just cost us money, and it wasn't necessary whatsoever to our business. It's something that we learned over time, and we realized, hey, we're losing a bunch of profit. Our profit margins are shrinking because of this. And it's just not just the office, like rent or lease itself. It's all the other things that come along with it, right? The insurance that you have to get for the office, the business internet, the business phone, the business everything, all the security system that you have to add on to that. All of that costs money. Adding all that up is just unnecessary expenses that we didn't need. We got rid of it, put everything into a storage unit, and now I just work from home. And it's the best decision we've made since the beginning of this business. It was the best thing ever. So don't spend money with unnecessary expenses. You might think, or it might seem like, hey, I need to have to spend a lot of money on this because this is going to be what's good for the business. This is what every other business does. This is what No, spend money on what you need. Keep expenses low. The secret to a very successful local service, especially a cleaning business, is to keep expenses as low as possible without it hurting the quality of your business and the work that you do. Keeping expenses as low as possible so that you can take all that extra money and invest into things that you know works in growing your business, or even keeping it for yourself and having making your own financial freedom and dreams come true. These are nice to haves, but they're not necessary, right? For example, company cars. I've always loved the idea of having company cars, getting them all wrapped, just having this beautiful brand new branded car with my company's logo on it, driving around the city, and I'm like, this is the best. It's going to bring in so much more clients for us. It's going to be the best thing ever. It's going to call all of this attention. It's going to be great. And then we did that. We spent like almost $4,000 or $5,000 on wrapping one of our vehicles. It was a brand new SUV. We wrapped all of it, and it looked really, really nice. It looked beautiful. I was really, really happy with the result that we got out of it. People will see it. People will call. They're not serious about it. It's like you'll give out a quote here and there, but it's not anything that's going to be pretty significant in a return on the investment that you've made to wrap that vehicle. If I were to start over, again, having that office, it's a nice to have. Having all of these branded vehicles, it's nice to have, but they're not necessary. And I'm actually going to tell people a secret here. If you're listening to this is very important for you to know, because I heard this and it changed my mind. It changed my whole worldview. I heard this at a different podcast, and I don't remember what it was, but it was a different podcast. And the person was talking about vehicle wrapping and all of that, like branded marketing type of stuff that you see these big companies do. And the secret is that you see a lot of these massive franchises, right? You see like the Maids, you see like Mary Maid. You see them have all of their cars wrapped, and all of their cars are wrapped and branded, and everything looks nice, and they need all this stuff, right? The secret is that all of that branded stuff is not for the cleaning business itself. It's for the franchise that uses that as a way to get other people's attention that might want to own a franchise and then buy a franchise. The marketing is not for the cleaning services itself. The marketing, the branding, the part of that branding is to make it look like that company's so professional that anybody that wants to start a cleaning business, the best way to do it is to buy a franchise instead of doing it yourself, which is obviously not true. And once I heard that, I'm like, yeah, that's true. It does make sense, because all these extra costs that these franchises have and push on their franchisees, all this overhead is unnecessary, and it's cutting into profits. It's not bringing in you any more significant. I mean, there's other businesses such as myself, and even much, much bigger cleaning business in our areas, that they don't have all that fancy stuff. Now, can you get your car wrapped if you want to? 100% do that. Just know that when you're doing that, you're not going to get the return on investment that you're putting into that car. So if that's the way it is, then in my opinion, I'd rather just put on the name of my company on the car, as cheap as possible, as affordable as possible, right? Whatever I can afford. I'll put the name of the company on the car. I'll put my logo. There's magnets that you can put on a car. There's you can get lettering. So those are some of the examples that you might want to take a look at or think about when you're building your business, of keeping the expenses as low as possible without it hurting the quality of your business and the service that you're providing. Keep expenses as low as possible. The second biggest mistake I've made in my business is not focusing on our online presence, meaning, how does my Google My Page look? How does my website look? What's the process of actually booking my service through my website? How does that look? How do my reviews look? How does my social media look? All that stuff is very important for your business, because the majority of people, before they buy your service, even if it's a word of mouth, right? Even if someone told someone else about your business, there's a big chance that person's going to hop on Google. They're going to write the name of your company, and they're going to do the research. They're going to see, is this company professional? Let me look at the reviews, and let me look at their website. Does that look professional? Does this company look like it has it all together? Meaning that they can trust you more, because especially in the cleaning business, if someone's coming into your house, you want to make sure that you can trust that person that's coming into your house. You're trusting that company that's sending employees into your house, right? So that's a big deal. And so they're going to look into your online presence. They're going to look into your website. They're going to look into your social media. They're going to look into your Google My Business page. Does that all look good? And if that looks good and it looks professional, then they're going to trust you more, right? And then you can land that client. So when I was first getting started, my website was very simple. My social media, I really didn't pay attention to it much. And in my Google My Business page, I neglected that so badly, and that was the worst thing we could do. Google now makes it easier for you to post all your updates for your business, right, on Google My Business, and then connecting it to your website and having all this great tools that they've been developing over these years. And it's important because even now in our business, in the beginning this was true, and even now in our business this is true. The majority of our leads come from people online. The people that they search for cleaning services, they're searching for our services through Google and then going to our website, doing their research, looking us up, getting more information, and then giving us a call or sending us a message. So it's so crucial, it's so important for any business today, in today's age, that wants to grow and be successful in investing in that presence. And there's tons of tools online that you can use to help you grow your business online. This is very important. Your online presence is very important. One of them, like the one we mentioned in the beginning of this video, Yobo, it can help you turn your simple website into a powerful lead generator and booking system. There's other products on the market that you can use to help you with scheduling. One tool that I used in the beginning of my business because I didn't have much money was Wave, and it's a free online accounting platform for small businesses, and it's really, really great. You should check that out. It really helped me kind of manage the accounting of the business, even though we were small and just getting started. I wanted to build the practice and the habit of doing the accounting and knowing my numbers, but I didn't have money to like sign up for QuickBooks or anything like that. So I used Waves, this free accounting software. So check that out if you're interested in that. Again, there's tons of tools. You don't have to go spend a crazy ton of money on that. Watch your expenses, like I said in the first point, but make sure that you're really paying attention to how your company looks online so that you can beat the competition and gain the trust of the customer that's looking for more information about cleaning services in their area. And then the third biggest mistake, and this is a mistake that everyone I think in the cleaning business will make. Everybody will make this mistake. And this mistake is trusting the client. Now, what do I mean by that? Trusting a client means you're going to come to a point where you're going to talk to, maybe it can be once, it will be several different customers. I've made this mistake several times until one day I'm like, no more. It's when you trust the client and what they're saying to you because they seem like they're a nice person. They seem like they're not going to do you any wrong. And but they're so nice. So they're just so sweet and they're all this and all that. And so they make a request of you that you normally wouldn't allow, but you allow it to this person because you trust them. And then it turns out that that person is just taking advantage of you and something goes wrong and it doesn't go the way it's supposed to be. And then later you have this big problem and this client that you trusted now is a client that you maybe are losing or wants their money back or is giving you a bad review. This happens all the time, and this is something that you need to be, as a business owner, you have to be kind of strict on your rules and your operations and the structure that you have in your business so that you don't allow these things to happen. A lot of this happens around the payments. For example, in the beginning of my business, I would have a lot of different clients say, a lot of new clients, right? Potential clients. And then we'll be in the booking process and trying to get them on the schedule. And they would be like, oh, how can I pay? And I can be like, oh, we can pay by credit card. And they'll be like, oh, I don't trust credit card stuff, or I don't trust this, I don't trust that. Can I pay with a check? And I'm like, oh, we don't usually do that. And, it's just, we prefer to get paid in credit cards and this and that. And then they insist on paying with a check or paying with cash. And then you're like, all right, yeah, that's fine. We can make that change today, or we can make that exception for you today. But, in the future, we can do that credit card. And they'll be like, oh, okay, great. Thank you so much for helping me out. This is great. Can't wait to see you guys here. You go, you do the cleaning, you do the service, and then it's like everything's done and you're going to go collect the payment and they say, oh, but the baseboards are all dirty. It's like, no, they're not. It's like, yeah, they're filthy. This is disgusting. I can't pay you full price for this. I'm going to give you half of the money. And you are in a position where you know you did the job right. And you know that you're being taken advantage of by a client, but you can't do anything because you made an exception to them when now they have all the power. They have all of the say because they're the ones that are going to pay you in check or going to pay you in cash. And we've had instances where a client has paid us in check and then we go and deposit the check, no funds. So moral of the story, never trust the client. They shouldn't trust you and you shouldn't trust them. It's a business transaction. They're paying you for a service. You're providing that service to their satisfaction. That's all it is. And a lot of times we love to call our clients their family or they're this or they're that. And, they'll never do this to me or look, and everyone has decency. I'm not saying that every client here is trying to screw you, right? That's not what I'm trying to say. We have great clients in our business. We have clients that just we love doing business with, and they love doing business with us, and it's a great relationship. It's a great stuff. But we still have our structures. We still have our rules. We still have the things that we follow, right? We still have, hey, if you cancel a day before, you're gonna get charged, right? There's a bunch of different things that we have in place to keep our business successful and growing and organized. And most clients will understand that, but you don't ever want to be in a position where maybe, you made an exception for one client and you made an exception for another client and then another client, and those didn't go wrong and nothing happened there. But then that other client you did make an exception for, they turn around and take your money that they owed you, or maybe they complained, or maybe they leave a bad review that you didn't do. There's so many different things that could happen, right? So never trust a client. Make sure you have good structures in place to make sure that that there's organization in your business, because that's really important. Over time, you'll start picking up the red flags and on what's a good client and what's a bad client. Somebody you're trying to do business with, and they'll say something like, oh, I don't like to have my credit card on file, or I don't like to do business over the phone, just email me, just text me. Like, wait a minute, those are red flags, right? Like, what's going on here? Let me dig more into this client, because it could be someone that's trying to take advantage of you. For example, in our business, I've been on the phone with a lot of different potential clients and talking to them, and they're looking for a cleaning service, and we're going through the booking process. I'm getting all the information from them. Everything looks good. I tell them the price. Hey, it's going to be this much. And they're like, hey, that looks great. Fantastic. Let's do this. Let's put it on the schedule. Great. Okay. So, but in order for me to book this, we do charge a 50% deposit just to secure that date and time for you. Immediately they're like, oh, I can't do that. I'm sorry. If you have the money to pay for the full price, why don't you have the money to pay for the 50%, right? Things like that. You'll start seeing red flags over time. You'll start learning them on what's a good client and what's a bad client. But these are things that you need to keep an eye out for. Just never 100% trust a client, and you should be good. Now, those are the top 3 mistakes. Before I end this video, I do want to talk to you guys about just the mistakes that you might make in your business. If you're just getting started, you will make mistakes. And I just want to let you know that mistakes are normal. They're part of the process. It's part of the journey. We all make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. It doesn't matter if you run a local service in your neighborhood or if you run a multi-billion-dollar company. Every business owner that's running a business will make mistakes, and the goal is to make less and less mistakes over time. As you gain wisdom, as you mature in your business, as you learn more, you'll make less mistakes, because you're building off of that wisdom that you've gained over time. But everybody makes mistakes. It's important to give yourself grace. If you do make a mistake, just take a breath and think about what you're going to do to fix that mistake or to fix that problem, that issue that happened. And what truly matters isn't trying to live your life making 0 mistakes, because that's not possible. What truly matters is how you respond to the mistakes that you do make. What did you learn? And what system or structure can you put around that learning and that wisdom that you've gained to not commit that mistake again? That's the important thing. So in a business, the organization, the structures that you build over time in your business, it's just essentially rules and structure that you put in place so that mistakes don't happen. That's all it is. And over time, you'll start figuring out like, oh, this is a mistake that happened. Here's a new rule in the business so that this doesn't happen anymore. And that's just how things work. So I just wanted to say that before ending this video. Just a side note for everyone that's watching this video. But that's it. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.